What's going on, peeps? I just came on here. I just wanted to come on here for a second, make a little video, and while I'm sitting here messing around on BeamNG and just kind of chillaxing for this afternoon, just having a good old time. Trying to, anyways. You know the funniest thing about something is, in my eyes, like it's almost gotten to where nowadays it's crazy because you're almost not, nowadays you're not allowed, I don't know how to say this. You're not allowed to have too much fun. Like the moment somebody thinks that you're having more fun than they're having, they don't like that. And they feel the need to want to, stop it or cut it out. It's like, oh no, wait a minute. You don't get to have more fun than I do. If you're getting enjoyment out of this or you're getting some kind of happiness out of this, and I'm not getting no happiness, or I'm not getting any kind of enjoyment, then no, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna mess with it, or you're not allowed to. And it's crazy because I wish more people would speak up about like things about like who they are, what what bothers them, what makes them upset, stuff like that. I mean, some people go like for so long with letting little things bother them until they get to the point to where they just lash out, and they take it out on people around them. And if you consider yourself an influencer, or consider yourself a somebody that's in the public light, you should be able, as that political figure, you should be able to take things like constructive criticism, and having somebody maybe not agree with what you're saying. Because look, the simple fact is it's 2022. People are not always going to like agree on every single thing that you say. Like it may upset them. It may, you know you may butt heads with a person. You may not 100% totally agree with them, and it's just part of it. I mean, but you should be able to know that some things you can pay attention to, and some things you don't have to pay attention to. You don't have to let that stuff bother you. But yeah, I mean, if you're in the public light, or if you're in the public spotlight, and you consider yourself an influencer or a streamer, or just somebody that has something to say, you are to be able to take criticism, and not and if somebody doesn't agree with you, you don't have to let it bother you. I don't know. I've just been thinking about stuff like that a lot here lately, and I just like to think about the way I take things and the way I handle things, and how I don't let little things bother me, because man, life's too short to be sitting here worried about everybody being 100% exactly a certain particular way. I mean, people are not always going to agree with you. They're not always going to listen to what you say. They're not always going to agree with what you say. And just because they don't agree with what you say does not mean that you have to, like get mad at them or get upset at them. Like to me, that's kind of, it's a tad bit childish in a certain sense, because somebody that doesn't, like agree with what they're saying, and then they get angry about it, it's like, no. You should be able to respect the fact that everybody has an opinion, and your opinion might not align with this person's opinion. And man, so it's like, the crazy thing about it is, people let things going on, like let things going on in their own life, affect people around them that really isn't, it really isn't like a part of their life. Isn't really like with them every single day, or has a really, impactful, like, just way of being towards them. Like, and sometimes some people, like, you know, they might be going through bad times in their life, or they may be fighting or arguing with their significant other, and they may be not really, getting along, or just had a really bad week or something like that, and then they take it out on the first person that, you know, looks looks at them in the wrong sense, or looks at them in the wrong way. And you ought to be like, to me, being in a relationship with the person is something that is something that you don't just rush into. It's not something that you have to, jump into like on day one. And so many people out there, man, are just they just want to rush into getting in a relationship. They want to, as soon as they're out of like college, or in some cases even out of high school, like the first thing they want to do is get married and start a family. And hey, look, if people has already did that, I'm not sitting here, I'm not talking bad about you. I mean, people are going to do what people want to do, and if you want to start a life, or if you want to start a family at whatever age, go right ahead. But in my eyes, there's plenty of time for that. There's no sense in rushing into that. I mean, why not enjoy, some of your younger years, and then you don't have to worry, and then later on in life you can worry about things like that. I mean, you can, as long as you take care of your body, as long as you take care of yourself, you can be 35 years old and still have a kid. I mean, dudes can be like 45, 50 and still have a kid. So it's not really that big of a deal. Like, I mean, it is if you're rushing into it. And man, it's really important to make sure that the person that you're with is the person that you plan on spending, the rest of your life with. Because, there's no sense in wasting a bunch of time if you're not enjoying yourself, if you're not happy, if that person isn't, you know, being every single thing that you expect them to be in every way. And a lot of times, you go to get a relationship with somebody that is difficult to be in a relationship with. It's almost like you're trapped. It's almost like you're trapped within this hellhole of a relationship that you don't really want to be in. Or not that you might not want to be in, but it's just more difficult than it actually should be. Because, like, for instance, if a person has to watch every single thing they do, or they have to, they're not allowed to do this, or it's really not that they're not allowed to do it, it's just that they don't want to upset their partner. They don't want to upset their, significant other. They don't want to upset their love. So some people will, like, you know, have to miss out on this or miss out on that just because they're afraid that their better half's going to get upset at them, or they're going to get mad at them, or, like, get jealous about it, or something like that. To me, the perfect kind of relationship is somebody that don't have to worry about nothing like that. They know without a doubt that the person they're in a relationship with is not going to mess with them, is not going to, do something bad, like cheat on them or talk to another dude while they're still in a relationship with that person. I mean, at least have somebody, at least give somebody the common courtesy to break up with them first, or you know what I mean, like in that or whatever if you're truly not happy. And man, it's really important to make sure that like the person you're with is the person you plan on being with the whole time, and you really need to like step back and think about this like everybody does. You need to kind of step back and look at the bigger picture and make sure that 5, 10, 15 years from now that you're still going to be with this person. Because if you're going to spend so much time and so much effort on your relationship and all the possible things that you miss out on, or something that you could have did that you couldn't do because you was in a relationship, then curbed it. But no, like, I don't know. I don't know why I got on that tangent and sitting here, you know, sh- but yeah, man, it's the reason I did get on that tangent is, or the reason I got to talking about that is because a lot of people are, they may be upset or they may hate life at this particular moment, or this week, and then the very next week they're happy and back to themselves and all this other stuff. And you don't know what a person's going through. You don't know what a person has dealt with that day. You don't know if they've had a bad day, a good day, uh, you know, an okay day. So, but like, don't worry about like rushing yourself into a relationship so fast because you think that that's what you have to have, or you think that that's what people expect from you, or you think that that's the perfect scenario to be in, like right then and there. Because a lot of times you'll rush into something and then you feel obligated to keep it going because that's what you think people expect from you. So you're obligated to keep this relationship intact, and so you'll put up with stuff that you know really and truly you shouldn't have to put up with. And a lot of people out there, may not be happy within their own lives, so they take it out on people that's not even in their life. You know. Oh shit. Oh god. I don't worry, it'll buff out. Shit. Somebody got some fix a flat. But no, man. I don't know. Like I said, I just got on that tangent. Thought I had to speak up and say something about it. Because Because to me, it's sad for people to, be in a relationship and feel like they're just stuck in it. And that's just like a there's this term uh, known as Stockholm syndrome, and it basically states that it's basically the definition of it is like a person that you're in, like a country is in war with this country, and like a person gets captured by the enemy, so they're sitting there like having to be with them and having to live with them and having to stay inside like a cell or however they're you know held captive, and they end up falling in love with with their captors. And that's what Stockholm syndrome is. And yeah, it's crazy because you could have Stockholm syndrome and not even know it. Like you could literally be in a toxic relationship, or a relationship that you're not really happy in, but yet you feel obligated to keep it going. It's like it's the reverse of it. You know what I mean? It's not really you in love with that person. It's you in love with the idea of people thinking that your relationship's perfect, or thinking that that's what that it's so beautiful and so like extravagant and all this other stuff. Like, so it's that's what you fall in love with. You fall in love with the idea of people thinking that everything's going good. And just think about all the stuff people miss out on because they want to be in a relationship. From like so many people, like there's a lot of people out there right now that's in a relationship that probably would just be better off if they was single. Like, they would just be better off if they was just them by themselves. Because, like you tend to do better when you're by yourself. You know what I mean? You don't have to worry about somebody else being upset or being mad, or you can put your time and your effort and put your focus in a lot more other activities that may be more beneficial and more important to you. And that's why I was talking about a minute ago. That's why I was saying that it was really important to make sure that you're plan to be with the person that you're with for a long time, because man, wouldn't it suck to miss out on a lot of cool stuff, or be focusing on the wrong things, instead of focusing on your goals and achieving your success, and you know like prospering and manifesting your dreams. Like, to me, that would be so much more. It would just be more beneficial for some people out there to be just just by themselves, just in a relationship with nobody, just out there living their best life, not having to worry about making somebody else upset, not having to worry about making somebody else mad. And then they can put their mind and focus into what they find important. Damn it, I had one of these white monsters, man. These things are good. And I must have already opened one like 45 minutes ago, and then I just went over there and just went and got another one and opened it. So I got one that's like three-fourths of the way full, and it's about half cold, half room temperature. And then I've got one that's ice cold. So I'm gonna drink the one that's cold. Another one I'll put back in the refrigerator or whatever. But drift tap. But no, man, if you had that perfect relationship and you was, to me, man, in my eyes, that perfect relationship is, man, somebody that can sit back, laugh, cut up, have a really good time with you know the person they're in a relationship with, and just laugh and cut up and joke with them, and like get on their nerves and stuff like, but in a really like wholesome way. You know what I mean? Just a really wholesome and loving way. And if I was in like if I was currently in a relationship, which I'm not, it's just me. I'm just by myself right now. If I was currently in a relationship, I wouldn't care so much about what the other person was doing. Like, of course, I would want to show them attention and show them love, but I'm not going to be over there like staring at their phone or staring at who they're talking to or whatever. Man, my girlfriend, man, she'd be able to talk to whoever she wanted to. She could talk to this person, that person, if that's what made her happy, if that's what she wanted to do, if that's what you know, if that's what made her happy, she could do whatever she wanted to. She could talk to whoever she wanted to. And I would just put enough faith in her and enough trust in her to know that before she went and did me wrong, she would, you know, cut that out or break that off. You know what I mean? And just put so much faith into the other person, because if she was, like, God forbid, she was to go out and cheat on me or something, well then, that's that. That's, you did what you did. But I'm not going to sit here and hold you back, or like, hold you captive with the idea of me getting upset or getting mad at who you're talking to. Nah, you can talk to who you want to. You talk to whoever you want to. Just as long as you're not sitting there like flirting with them, just as long as you're not like, you know flirting back and forth with each other. I mean, little silly talk stuff like whatever. But like, I don't mean like nothing like crazy or nothing. I just mean like just regular old talk. But yeah, you talk to whoever you want to. But you would hate to be like, you would hate to look 5 or 10 years down the road, and let's say something didn't work out with the person you're in a relationship with. You would hate to look back and think of all the things that you missed out on, or all the things that you could have did differently had you just focused on yourself, or had you just did your own thing. And man, some people, they would just do so much better off if they was just them by themselves, and then they could focus on the right things. They could focus on you know bettering themselves, or doing what they need to do and stuff like that. And that's why some people out there, man, they they think, I have to be in a relationship. I have to be in a relationship right here, right now. I have to find a boyfriend. I have to do this. I have to do that. Or even vice versa. I have to find a girlfriend. I have to. I have to. I have to. When it's like, man, people should grow a little bit more and mature a little bit more before they go and worry about being in a relationship with somebody. You know what I mean? Like, you have a lot of living left to do, and especially in your younger years. You know what I mean? Like, you're never going to get these years back. You're never going to be able to go back and relive your younger years. And man, anywhere's in between the age of 20 and 25, you should be enjoying your life. I swear to God, I promise you, that's God honest, truly what I think. Because look at it this way. What's the sense in having a kid at 20 years old? You wait until it gets grown or even past grown and out on its own doing its own thing, whatever. I know you're still going to be that parent. You're still going to be that kid's parent. But you know what I mean? What's the sense of waiting until you're 45 or 50 years old for you to finally be back to yourself and back by yourself, or not having to worry about all that other stuff? What's the sense of waiting until that age to want to enjoy your life? Why not enjoy your life in your 20s and 30s, and then like when you're 35, getting ready to turn 40, then you can start worrying about stuff like that. Then you could start worrying about getting in a relationship, um, or start having kids, stuff like that. And I know there's so many women out there that's scared to death that they're just, they're going to get too old, or they're not going to be able to find a guy to have a kid with. So that's why they want to do it when they're younger. But man, no, man, you got plenty. People need to learn. You got plenty of time to do that. There's no sense in rushing it. And sometimes, man, it's just better just to slow down a little bit. It's better just to kind of chill out a little bit, uh, kind of relax. Not worry about going, extremely fast and rushing things and rushing this, rushing that. And because at the time, you might truly think, you may 100% think, hey, look, this is what I want to do. I know for a fact there ain't nobody in the world that could ever change my mind. But honestly and truthfully, until you're with that person for years and years and years and years, 5 years, maybe even 10 years, until you're with that person for that amount of time, you don't. I don't care who you are. You don't truly know that person. Even within a couple years, you may be with the person for 2 or 3 years, and you still don't know that person for who they are. Because in the beginning, man, so many people out there try their best to make stuff work and try to make it happy and good, and the first 5 years it's beautiful, and then 5 years turn or 5 years, yeah, 5 years turn into 10 years, 10 years turn into 15 years, and then it just becomes kind of repetitive, and it kind of becomes boring and kind of slow, and then you're sitting there like, yeah, you, you stuck in it now. Oh well, I might as well make it work, or try to make it work. But I don't know. Maybe me me not being in a relationship and stuff right now. Maybe it's not best for me to give any kind of relationship advice, because what is it for me to say? And just because that's what I think, man, that doesn't mean that's what somebody else is gonna think. You know, they may think this, that. They may think whatever they want to think, and they may not agree with my philosophy or the way that I look on life and relationships and things like that. Man, so many people would just benefit from just being themselves and doing their own thing. And am I perfect? Of course not. I'm not perfect. I never in my life ever claimed to be perfect. Like there's times I've messed up. There's times that I've did this or did that. There's times that I wish I could go back and change this or change that. But you know, it is what it is. There's no going back. There's no reversing it. There's no, you know, jumping in your DeLorean and hitting 88 mile an hour and, you know, just zooming on through time. So, you know, you might as well just live it up, get what you got to say out, say it, and just, you know, bury it. If it's meant to work, man, it'll work. If it's not, it just wasn't meant to work. That's just a little piece of my advice, and you know, I just thought I'd come on here and kind of talk about how it sucks nowadays because it seems like, man, people don't want nobody to have no fun. And if you're having more fun than they are, they don't like that. They ain't happy. They're like, no, I gotta be having just as much fun as they are, and you know they end up lashing out or taking something out on somebody that really didn't, you know, affect what they're doing that much at all. Or maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know. I wish more people would speak their mind too. Man, this internet and shit stuff and people being on the internet and stuff all the time, they've gotten so, you know, just kind of like sheltered, and everybody is like sheltered in place, and a lot of people don't speak their mind. They don't say what they mean. They don't mean what they say. They'll say, you know, they'll just say this, say that, and then a week later they may be completely different, saying something totally different. So like, I wish more people would speak up, and if something bothers you, or if something, you know, if somebody says something that you don't like, tell that person, and you know, make sure that person knows, and then that person's going to learn and be like, oh, okay, you know, my bad, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't know that that upset you. Like, I had no idea. I am so sorry. I won't do it again. And instead of just, you know, like keeping quiet, or just, you know, not saying nothing, and then one day they say something that upsets you enough that you finally do say something, and that person's like, what? Like, did I upset you? Like, I had no idea. You know, I had no idea what I was doing made you mad, or like bothered you or something like that, you know? Because there's been a lot of people, man, especially here recently, that I've talked to, or you know, attempted to talk to, and they just bzz, they just zip their mouth up, and they won't say nothing. They won't speak their mind. They won't say what they, you know, say what they mean what they say, and something bothers them, they don't say nothing about it. They just let it all build up until they finally, you know, explode, or finally go off, and then they finally, you know, they finally say something, but that person had no idea that they was even doing anything wrong. Sometimes, man, I like testing people. I like testing their character, and I like testing their strength, and testing their, you know, their willpower, and I like to test people and see how far I can push them. You know, I mean, hell, why not? You know what I mean? You get to see a person's true character when everything is, you know, out of their control, or things all haywire. You get to really see who they are. guessing 335 there. Like, man, that couldn't be more a lie. Woohoo! Damn it. I better cut this video off because it's going to end up being 15, 20, 30 minutes long, and I wasn't even trying to sit here and jaw on for that long, but man, I love peace and chicken grease, and anybody out there that ever needs anything, or if you need a piece of advice, or if you need some, insight on something, holler at me, like talk to me or something like that. I'm really chill, I'm really cool, relaxed. You know, I, People can tell me whatever they want to tell me, and if I've got insight, or if I've got a solution, or if I've got something that I think somebody could benefit from, I'll tell you. If I ain't got no business speaking on it, or if I ain't got no business, put my 2 cents in on something that I have no idea about, I'll tell you. I'll be like, hey, I don't know nothing about that. That's totally on you. But I do have a lot of useful information. I do have a lot of beneficial information. I have a lot of insight, and I consider myself more of like a older soul, and just kind of somewhat old school when it comes to certain things, and I kind of consider myself wise, and got a wise mind. I think I got a lot of insight. Which I've done said that, but you know what I mean. Like I can relate to people, and I can understand what they're saying and what they're talking about, and I'm just a really good people person. You know what I mean? I'm really good with helping people out and talking to them, and I've had a lot of people tell me in my life, man, you really helped me out. You really listened to me. You really had lot, a lot of information and a lot of useful things to tell me, and I'm glad I talked to you. And I'm like, shoot, yeah, that's what's up. Anytime you need me, holler at me. It ain't no thing but a chicken wing. Like, easy going, fun to be around, cool as hell. You know, I never judge people. I don't judge a person on their worst mistake. You know what I mean? Like, uh, some certain things in this life, you can be forgiven. Certain things in this life cannot be forgiven. So it really just depends on, you know, it depends on the circumstances. But that being said, man, I love everybody out there. I hope everybody's having a nice day. If I said one word that actually got to you, or actually got through to you, or maybe might help you out, glad I did. Yeah, I'm glad I made a impact on you. I'm glad I helped you out in some way. But I might make more of these. I don't know. I might, just leave it at that. But it is what it is, and talk to you peeps later. Later.